I think that all the different relationships have been amazing.
That was Kobe Bryant's daughter, Natalia, opening up about her love life. And trust me, the names tied to her will blow your mind. A few NBA rookies have reportedly been linked to her, but none caused more buzz than the whispers about Bronny James. The thought of Kobe's daughter and LeBron's son coming together lit up the basketball world like fireworks. Bronny James, born into pure NBA royalty, carried the weight of a dynasty from the second he stepped on the court. After nearly losing his life to a shocking cardiac arrest in 2023, his comeback was nothing short of dramatic. Fans held their breath, and when he was drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers in 2024, becoming part of the first ever father-son duo to play in the NBA, the entire sports world erupted with excitement. On the other side, Natalia Bryant was carving her own empire. As Kobe and Vanessa's eldest, she wasn't just living in her father's shadow. She was stepping into film, modeling, and creative projects that honored his legacy in bold ways. Her tragedy in 2020 made her stronger, and by the time she was studying film at USC, she was already making waves. And here's where it gets juicy. Their paths kept crossing. Both Bronny and Natalia attended Sierra Canyon, so sparks had already been rumored back in their teen years. But when fate brought them both to USC in 2023, Bronny grinding for basketball glory and Natalia chasing film dreams, insiders swear the romance finally took off. Sources close to both families spilled that by summer 2024, the two had quietly started dating, keeping it low-key while sneaking into campus events and family gatherings together. What made this story explode wasn't just the pairing, it was the drama behind it. Bronny had just survived a life-threatening scare, and Natalia had endured the devastating loss of her father. That bond of shared pain and legacy created an emotional firestorm that fans couldn't stop talking about. People even fantasized about future kids with names like Kobe James, predicting a basketball prodigy like no other. Can you imagine the pressure those kids would carry? But just as the fairy tale was getting too good to be true, the spotlight started dimming. By late 2025, sightings of the couple vanished. Natalia turned her energy toward her film projects, locking herself away from the chaos, while Bronny dove headfirst into proving he belonged in the NBA. Not as LeBron's son, but as a star in his own right. The insane pressure of living under two of basketball's biggest shadows, plus non-stop media eyes, proved too much for their young love to handle. And believe it or not, Natalia isn't the only daughter of basketball royalty to step into a whirlwind romance. Up next, another shocking matchup, this time involving Michael Jordan's youngest daughter, Jasmine, and her college sweetheart turned NBA pro, Rakeem Christmas. Their story is straight out of a movie, but with plenty of twists that made fans do a double take. Jasmine Jordan wasn't just Michael Jordan's daughter. She was a boss in her own right. She studied sports management at Syracuse University from 2011 to 2014, later landing a major role with Nike as a Jordan brand field rep, handling women's basketball endorsements like a pro.
Absolutely. He is such a softie when it comes to my son, and he definitely has him wrapped around his finger already. So he definitely is just the most incredible grandfather you could imagine.
It was on that very campus where her path crossed with Rakeem Christmas, the rising star forward for Syracuse's men's team, and sparks quietly started to fly. At first, it was just casual encounters around campus. A wave here, a conversation there. But soon, the vibe shifted into something serious. Jasmine was spotted courtside at Rakeem's games, riding for him through the ups and downs, even when they kept things private to dodge the heavy spotlight of her famous last name. When Rakeem entered the NBA in 2015 as the 36th pick by the Timberwolves, his career quickly turned into a whirlwind. He was traded to the Pacers, bounced around the league with little playing time, and eventually had to pack his bags for stints overseas in Turkey, New Zealand, and Mexico. It was the unpredictable life of a journeyman baller. But through it all, Jasmine stayed locked in by his side. But the ultimate test came in 2018, when Rakeem had to face the most intimidating father-in-law in sports history, Michael Jordan himself. Imagine trying to propose while the GOAT is staring you down. Yet, Rakeem pulled it off, popping the question at a family gathering, and shockingly, MJ gave his blessing. That was the moment the world knew Rakeem wasn't just a boyfriend. He was officially part of basketball royalty. Their love story only grew stronger from there.
So, you're married to Seth Curry. We're gonna talk Bachelor, but
Okay.
just before we get into that, so he gets traded. You just had your second kid.
Yes.
Your younger son is 6 months old. You're living in
Yes.
Philly. He's having a great season. Things are going really well.
In May 2019, Jasmine gave birth to their son, Rakeem Michael Christmas Jr., officially making Michael Jordan a grandfather. The sight of the ultra-competitive MJ transforming into a soft, doting granddad melted the hearts of fans everywhere. Their wedding plans were delayed by the COVID pandemic, but by 2022, sources say they tied the knot quietly, with Jasmine even rocking the last name Jordan Christmas. Now, the talk around her family has shifted to the little boy. Fans constantly debate whether Rakeem Jr. could become the most anticipated draft prospect in the future. Can you imagine the hype if the grandson of MJ and son of a pro baller hits the hardwood? For now, though, Rakeem continues his career overseas, while Jasmine runs things on the business side, balancing brand management with family life. And just when you thought that was wild enough, the saga of basketball royalty dating basketball royalty keeps going. Up next, Seth Curry and Cali Rivers, a union that ties together two of the most powerful families in NBA history. Their story includes romance, family ties, and yes, a messy scandal that almost blew it all up. Seth Curry and Cali Rivers tied the knot in September 2019 with a star-studded Malibu wedding that looks straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster. Stephen Curry and Chris Paul were among the A-list guests, and the couple's love story kept growing stronger when they welcomed their son Cash in 2021 and daughter Cove in 2023. But just when everything seemed picture perfect, drama found its way into their family. The tension peaked when Doc Rivers, Cali's father, was coaching the Clippers, while Paul George, her rumored ex, was on the roster. Talk about awkward. It reached another level in 2020 when Seth's fiery playoff trash talk aimed at George was widely seen as more than just competition.
There was never ever a moment where there was a brief, probably like 5-minute moment after the trade where I was not happy. But outside of that, it was fine.
Fans were convinced it was payback tied to George's messy past with Cali. The gossip only fueled the idea that family dinners must have been pure chaos during that time. Then, in 2025, eagle-eyed fans noticed Cali's podcast credits suddenly switched from Cali Curry back to Cali Rivers, setting off divorce rumors across social media. Was there trouble in paradise? Luckily, those whispers didn't hold up. It looked like speculation rather than any real marital fallout. Still, it showed just how invested the public is in these basketball dynasties. But what happens when an NBA player doesn't just marry into basketball royalty? He has to share locker rooms and game nights with her famous brother? That's exactly the wild position Damion Lee found himself in when he fell for Sydel Curry. Their relationship showed that sometimes love can cut through the noise, but not without its own unique challenges. Damion Lee, born in 1992, had to grind for every inch of his career, from Drexel to Louisville, going undrafted in 2016, then battling his way through the G League before finally landing a shot with the Warriors in 2018. Sydel Curry, born in 1994, the youngest child of Dell and Sonia, wasn't just known as Steph and Seth's sister. She built her own name through volleyball at Elon University, entrepreneurship, and lifestyle projects that gave her real influence off the court. Their story had a rom-com beginning, meeting at an Elon basketball game in 2013, locking eyes on the stairs, swapping numbers, and eventually falling hard for each other. By New Year's Day 2015, Damion was so sure he dropped the I love you first with a necklace gift to seal the deal. He knew that winning Sydel's heart meant proving himself not only to her, but to one of the most famous families in the NBA. By November 2017, he was ready to pop the question, and the wedding followed in 2018 in Charlotte with Ayesha Curry as matron of honor and Steph's daughters Riley and Ryan as the most adorable flower girls. Their journey to parenthood wasn't easy. They opened up about fertility struggles and IVF treatments, turning their private pain into a public story that touched millions. Their perseverance paid off with the birth of their son Dixon in 2021, daughter Darren in 2023, and their miracle baby Dawn in 2025, a natural conception that shocked and delighted fans. But here's where things got really tricky. Damion was now Steph Curry's brother-in-law, while also playing alongside him on the Warriors. Every time he touched the court, debates exploded about whether he earned his spot or whether it was family privilege. But Damion silenced critics when he helped the Warriors win the 2022 championship, proving he wasn't just riding coattails. He belonged on that stage. And the funniest part, asking Del Curry for Sydel's hand in marriage nearly broke him. Damion later admitted it was one of the most nerve-wracking moments of his life. But Del found the whole thing amusing rather than intimidating, showing that even in a family full of legends, there's room for humility and humor. The loyalty tug-of-war when Damion faces off against his famous in-laws remains one of the quirkiest ongoing Curry family dramas, and fans love every second of it. Fans can't get enough of the Curry family saga, and Sydel's rooting preferences whenever Damion Lee faces off against one of her brothers have become the kind of wholesome drama that melts hearts. Damion's rise from the G League grind to an NBA championship and a seat at the Curry family dinner table has inspired countless undrafted players chasing the dream. And now, with the Phoenix Suns, he's proving he's more than just Steph's brother-in-law, while Sydel continues to shine with her own brand and identity outside her family's fame. Together, they've turned their love story into a blueprint for perseverance, loyalty, and family unity. But not every NBA romance comes with such feel-good vibes. In fact, one alleged relationship threw gasoline on an already volatile NBA family dynamic, Paul George and Cali Rivers. Few rumored romances in NBA history have stirred up as much chaos, speculation, and pure mess as this one did. Paul George, born in 1990, was exploding into stardom with the Indiana Pacers when the whispers started. Cali Rivers, the daughter of longtime coach Doc Rivers, was already connected deep inside NBA circles. By late 2013, insiders claimed the two had been spotted together at events, including the 2013 ESPYs, where photos of George with a mysterious woman lit up blogs and sparked non-stop chatter. But just as quickly as the rumors heated up, everything blew apart. Reports claimed George cheated during a Miami trip with dancer Daniela Rajic, a scandal that spiraled into headlines when she became pregnant. The bombshell? Allegations surfaced that George offered her $1 million to have an abortion. By 2014, the story exploded into a paternity suit, and in a shocking twist, George eventually reconciled with Rajic, had more children with her, and by 2022, they were officially married. What a wild turnaround. The mess didn't stay in the past. It came roaring back in 2019 when Paul George landed with the Clippers, coached by none other than Doc Rivers himself. Fans couldn't stop dissecting the bizarre dynamic. The same man who allegedly hurt Doc's daughter was now suiting up under his leadership. Things got even more tangled when Cali married Seth Curry, pulling George into one of the most complicated family webs in league history. The drama hit its peak in the 2020 playoffs. During a heated game, Seth Curry shouted at George, calling him B asterisk, 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 type asterisk, asterisk, after, and in one, fans instantly connected the dots, seeing the trash talk as more than just basketball. It was personal revenge. That single moment became legendary, with NBA fans everywhere winking at the deeper history between the two families. And the awkwardness didn't stop there. Speculation swirled that Doc Rivers harbored resentment toward George, possibly impacting Clippers' chemistry. George himself complained about preferential treatment during his time there, fueling even more gossip about behind-the-scenes tension. Even after George left the Clippers in 2024, the story kept resurfacing, cementing itself as one of the NBA's most infamous family entanglements. Neither Paul George nor Cali Rivers has ever publicly confirmed the romance. But honestly, the rumors have taken on a life of their own. For fans, it's become part of NBA folklore, the ultimate reminder that in this league, personal lives and professional drama are always colliding. From paternity suits to playoff trash talk, this saga has shown how love, betrayal, and family ties can shake up the entire game. The shadow of the Paul George-Cali Rivers saga still hangs over the NBA, making it one of the most infamous alleged romances in league history. Whether fans believe it or not, that story carved its place into basketball folklore, proof that love and scandal can shake up entire franchises. After all that drama, you'd think players would swear off dating basketball daughters forever. But nope, the league never learns, and the next story proves it. Enter Montrezl Harrell and Randy Ewing, a romance that quietly unfolded in the middle of one of college basketball's stormiest eras. Harrell, born in 1994, was the ultimate energy guy, a rebounding machine who became a Louisville hero when he helped lead them to the 2013 national championship. By 2015, he was drafted 32nd overall by the Houston Rockets, later suiting up for the Clippers, Lakers, 76 ERs, and even taking his hustle overseas. Randy Ewing, daughter of NBA legend Patrick Ewing and former WNBA player Rita Williams, carried hoops royalty in her DNA. Born around 1993, she played volleyball at Louisville, earned both a communications degree and a master's, and built a reputation for staying low-key, far from the spotlight her last name could have easily brought. Their paths crossed at Louisville around 2012. 2013, Harrell dominating the basketball court, Randy repping the volleyball squad. What started as casual support turned into a full-fledged college romance, with Randy regularly courtside at Harrell's games. By 2015, however, their love story ran headfirst into one of the ugliest chapters in Louisville history, the infamous escort scandal. With the program under fire for recruiting parties and illicit activities, Harrell's name inevitably got dragged into the chaos, but he fired back at the speculation, pointing to his steady relationship with Randy as a proof that he wasn't part of the wild party scene. For many fans, her presence became a shield, keeping him grounded while others were losing focus. The daughter of Patrick Ewing knew better than anyone how brutal public scrutiny could get, and she stood by him through the noise. The intrigue went even deeper. Their connection symbolized two generations of basketball greatness colliding. Patrick Ewing's old school dominance in the paint stood in stark contrast to Harrell's modern, high energy, versatile style. For fans, it was like watching the past and future of the NBA linked together through love. During the height of the scandal, speculation swirled. Did Harrell's relationship with Randy actually save his career? Some believed that being tied to a respected basketball family forced him to keep his head straight, while others wondered if the romance gave him the discipline that other Louisville players lacked. Either way, Harrell managed to avoid being dragged down with the rest of the controversy, and fans never forgot it. But like many college romances, the pressure eventually took its toll. Between Harrell's rocky NBA journey, constant trades, and overseas stints, the relationship quietly faded from the public eye. By the time his pro career picked up, Randy had retreated fully into her private life, and their story seemed to be a closed chapter. Still, their romance lives on as a what-if in basketball history, a fleeting but powerful connection between NBA dynasties. For many, Randy was the stabilizing force that kept Harrell from being swallowed up by Louisville's scandal, allowing him to carve out his role as one of the league's most relentless role players. Their story proves that even short-lived love can leave a lasting mark when basketball royalty is involved. Just when you thought the NBA's dating web couldn't get more tangled, another shocking twist pops up. Kyrie Irving allegedly added yet another layer to basketball's most chaotic romantic network, a rumored fling with Cali Rivers. If true, it pulled him straight into the middle of one of the league's most complicated family storylines ever. Kyrie, born in 1992, has always been a headline magnet. From dazzling handles and clutch shots to off-court controversies about flat earth theories and vaccine stances. He's now married to Marlene Golden Wilkerson with 2 kids. But back in 2014, the whispers linked him to none other than Cali Rivers, daughter of Doc Rivers, and eventually Seth Curry's wife. That's right, the same Cali once tied to Paul George. This wasn't just a rumor, it was a potential bombshell. The alleged romance reportedly sparked in late 2014, shortly after Cali's messy split from Paul George. Insiders speculated they crossed paths through NBA circles as Kyrie was making noise with the Cleveland Cavaliers while Doc was coaching the Clippers. To fans who lived for these crossovers, the timing screamed rebound situation, and it instantly fueled chatter across social media and locker rooms alike. What made the whispers irresistible was the bigger picture. Cali had already been linked to Paul George and would later marry Seth Curry. So if the Kyrie rumor was real, it tied together 3 NBA stars into one shocking triangle of love, loyalty, and legacy. Fans couldn't believe the interconnection. It was like the NBA's version of a soap opera, unfolding in real time. For Kyrie, the timing was pivotal. He was fresh off winning Rookie of the Year and was cementing himself as Cleveland's franchise cornerstone, heading towards superstardom. Any tie to the Rivers family, already one of the league's most influential dynasties, only amplified the intrigue. To some, it was just a blip in Kyrie's dating history. But to die-hard NBA relationship watchers, it was another chapter in the Rivers family's ever-expanding web of drama. Even more fascinating, this all happened before Kyrie's polarizing era, before his flat earth comments, before the vaccine debates, before he became one of the league's most divisive voices. Back then, he was known purely for his game, so the idea of him quietly linked to a coach's daughter carried a different kind of shock factor. Speculation even swirled about how Doc Rivers might have reacted. Imagine coaching NBA stars while hearing rumors that your daughter was linked to Kyrie Irving, a player whose reputation would later include chemistry issues and headline-grabbing controversies. Whether the romance was real or exaggerated, the possibility of Kyrie being woven into the same storyline as Paul George and Seth Curry made the NBA gossip cycle go wild. In the end, the alleged Kyrie-Cali connection never went public, never saw official confirmation, and fizzled as quickly as it sparked. But for fans obsessed with NBA relationship drama, the very idea of Irving being part of that tangled Rivers web is enough to keep the conversation alive years later. The Kyrie-Cali rumor may have been short-lived and overshadowed by Kyrie's marriage and Cali's eventual life with Seth Curry, but it still adds one more wild thread to the tangled web of NBA family drama. Even as a footnote, it shows just how messy and interconnected the basketball world can get, with personal lives crossing over into league storylines that fans never stop debating. So here's the big question. Do you think Kyrie and Cali's rumored connection really happened? Or was it just another piece of NBA gossip gone viral? Drop your take in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more shocking basketball love stories and scandals.